PCA includes two user interfaces. Service Enclave is management and monitoring interface that will be used by data center and sysadmin personnel to install, configure, manage, and maintain the PCA infrastructure. This user interface will also be used to create up to 8 tenancies. Compute Enclave is the other user interface used by tenancy admin to perform administrative tasks and cloud users to provision cloud resources. Let's start with Service Enclave. To access Service Enclave, you open the browser and point to the URL for Service Enclave, which normally start with admin console and then followed by PCA name and the domain name. In the login page, you just put the user and the password and click sign in. Then the Service Enclave UI will be shown here. On the right top, it's gonna be the user and the information about the user. And in this dashboard, you will see the most used actions, rack units, used to see the hardware inventory of each rack and the status of each element. Everything is clean on this PCA, so no issue. Tenancy. This is the list of the tenancy that have been created on the system. We have already got 5 tenancies created, and a single PCA can support up to 8 tenancies. To create tenancy, what you have to provide is the tenancy name, the service namespace, which normally the same as the tenancy name, and the user credential of the tenancy administrator, which is the first user that gonna be created together with the tenancy. And from this interface, you can see that actually the admin username can be anything. It's not necessary to be the user like root or admin. Okay, you can just tell them there and then click the create tenancy, and then the tenancy can be created. Next, there are a user. See the user for Service Enclave, which is different than the cloud user. This user will be purposely for Service Enclave user. Next is appliance. It will show you the appliance detail. Okay, the region, the RAM, and the domain name, for example. Network environment. This section has a complete network configuration of the system. There are multiple tabs in this network information, starting from the routing of the PCA to management IP address of the management node, 3 units of them, and the virtual IP of the management node. The uplink. In this PCA, we have 10 gigabit per sec uplink, and we use 4 of them. This is the time server, and this point to the time server of the data center to make the time synchronize between PCA and the data center. This is the DNS endpoint that it have to point to, and there are 2 important things on the public IP tab. One is the IP address of the object storage. Object storage services is the storage service that default export out of PCA to the customer data center. So they deserve to have its own public IP for it. And this is the public IP range that has been assigned to PCA. From your data center, you have to make sure that the network route this CIDR block to this PCA. And after you put this as an IP address for public IP for PCA, PCA will automatically provision the IP address in this public IP range if there is a need for communication between the object in PCA and the customer IP. Okay. I think that's it for network configuration. What else? I think this is the list of the job. What kind of job that it has been running. think one page that it's quite useful for me is the PCA config, and under fault domain, you will see the fault domain name and the number of computers in the fault domain and the total memory and how much are free and total vCPU on each fault domain and the free vCPU on each fault domain. And this can be used to see for planning purpose. I think the one of the important function on this Service Enclave is the monitoring. This button, if you click, it will open a new tab and it will show the Grafana dashboard that you can use to monitor PCA. I think that's it for Service Enclave. See you in the next video.